week on Asia Sport, Singapore's first ever international 24-hour endurance kart race. Catch the professionals and the amateurs jockeying for top honours on the island of Sentosa.
Bright sunshine in Taiwan masked the difficult conditions for the Acer Taiwan Open, an event that some would prefer to forget, but for one Malaysian in particular was unforgettable.
And finally, a sneak peek at China's national table tennis team. We give you the scoop on their preparations for the Asian Games in Busan. It's a dazzling display of finesse and speed, all here this week on Asia Sport. Singapore, a vibrant blend of East meets West. There's always something happening in this island city. And this time around, Singapore's first international 24-hour endurance kart race. A large crowd braved the 33-degree heat for the return of motorsports to Singapore streets. Snap-on McGee Racing from the UK took pole position. The Unstoppables, endurance veterans from the UAE, were another international showing, while Kart national team Germany would be hot on their heels. And adding a dash of glamour to the event, the Penelope Pit Stops, an all-girl Singapore amateur team.
Made it through practice and qualifying and we're all still here. That's a bonus. Well done.
Qualifying was quite good. We are on second place, and I think the track is very fast. It's fun, and I hope we do one place better in the race.
I'm like used to sprint racing where you're always on the limit 100% all the time, whereas in this sort of racing it's quite different. The chicanes you've got to sort of hold yourself back a little bit, hold the adrenaline back and try to execute the chicanes with a little bit more precision and care rather than just flat out and hoping for the best.
Teams had to field a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 15 drivers for the race. And as 3 p.m. Saturday drew near, the karts left the pits for the start of Singapore's inaugural endurance kart race on the resort island of Sentosa. A typical Le Mans start got the race underway, with Team Snap-on McGee Racing in pole, leading them through the first corner. The 1.8-kilometre circuit snaked its way through the lush tropical jungle of Sentosa Island and was quick becoming a favourite amongst the international driving fraternity. Sharp changes in elevation, high-speed straights and rib-crushing chicanes were some of the unique features of this challenging circuit. The karts themselves were JK1 twin-engine endurance pro karts with Honda GX160 engines and could reach speeds of up to 100 kilometres on the Sentosa long straights. And it was less than an hour before the pace car emerged for the first time. Refuelling was completed at the far end of the circuit away from the pits. This was to ensure additional safety for both teams and drivers alike. Over 30,000 tyres had to be set around the circuit, and the picturesque location was the flagship venue of the Asia Pacific Karting Series, which will travel to Australia and another Asian nation within the next 8 months. The pits in an endurance race are always a hive of activity. And there we caught up with Singapore adventurer and Everest climber Khoo Swee Chow.
Well, it's an adventure, in spirit. So it's something new, something that I have not done before. I am a 1-month-old driver, if you like. So this was fun. Yeah, first international race.
Nightfall and the grandstands continue to stay full with die-hard karting fans happy to stay all night to witness Singapore's first professional public road race in nearly 30 years. As the teams continued their charge, Snap-on-McGee Racing held on to the lead as laps were counted away and drivers relieved their tired teammates. As the heat and humidity of the day started to take a toll on drivers and support crew alike, many soon fell under the spell of sweet slumber. While others were presented with another option of an all-night dance party. Meanwhile, weather reports forecasted heavy downpour and teams immediately scrambled for wet weather tyres. As a precautionary measure, the pace car was brought out until race officials could determine the safety of the circuit in the wet and slippery conditions. By dawn on Sunday morning, clear skies beckoned, and another day of hard racing lay ahead for the competitors. But the wet weather didn't stay away for too long. The morning saw sheets of rain beating down relentlessly, drenching everyone in its wake. The slick conditions proved tricky for even the best drivers, and some teams went back to their rain setups. Damage wasn't just restricted to the karts, as the punishing demands of endurance racing showed its mark on some of the drivers. The rain showed no signs of letting up though, and in fact simply poured harder than before. Finally, around midday, the race was red flagged for safety reasons, while officials deliberated on their next move. At this stage, UK's Snap-on-McGee Racing was seated comfortably at the top of the leaderboard.
We're going to hold if the weather does not clear by 1 o'clock, and we'll go around the track to make sure it's safe. We'll be checking the barriers, etc., etc. Then the race will recommence.
After giving the go-ahead, drivers were once again in their grid positions for the restart of the final 2 race hours. It was sheer adrenaline on the circuit as drivers chased positions in the closing hours of the race. And as expected, English team Snap-on-McGee Racing took line honours with a total of 752 laps clocked in 24 hours. A quick look now at the final results. Professional karting teams dominate the top 5, with Team Australia and the Unstoppables taking 2nd and 3rd, respectively.